Every round is exciting. You get that time and time again. Buy coming out. Once more, up in the hands of Draken again. Still only opting for one. Forest not going for that secondary AWP. Let's see what kind of attack they come in with here. I want to see some aggression. I want to see NIP take a risk because this default spread breaking the chain. Oh, that's an interesting little spam battle there on top of the red box.
Yeah, that's one that's been fixed, by the way. Remember that.
Board body spam, yeah.
Well, body spam, yeah, but due to a glitch in the first detection of bullet and basically allowing too much damage to go through that wall. Yeah, that's true. I forgot all about the body bang. We would have seen that a million times in this game if they hadn't patched that.
Mo did one yesterday that was from T-Spawn. I think he did like 40 damage or something. Am I thinking of Mo? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
There is another one you can do. You line up with the back fence and fire through both garages, and it goes down basically beside the hut and into connector.
So we've identified that B appears to be either a little weak spot for NIP or somewhere where G2 are more comfortable taking at this point. And the adjustment that's been made is Forest and Rez both playing over towards that part of the map. Forest actually wasn't the vent. He's just been Molotov'd out of position. So both in checkers right now. G2 are happy to run the clock down. Online during Pro League, we saw them lose a lot of rounds because they ran the clock down too far. Hasn't been the case here. They've managed to get the bomb down in enough time, round and round again. We're down to 30 seconds and not even close to a bomb site as Apex finally opening up. Rez going to trade out one onto body, and now they have to make a decision. They have to pick a bomb site. That bomb is still in limbo right now.
Good shot, Apex, as he divides all the way through middle. Draken is fast to go back and find Kenny. He's got problems, though, because they're heading toward truck. He doesn't exactly know where to go right now. You can see the hesitation as he tries to find space, but he finds it effectively, taking down MBK. Forest will apply pressure by getting Apex. That's the flank, and Draken is stepping up in overtime, as this time he will win the round with 3 kills.
How is he such a menace in those situations? Just playing around the smokes, maybe puffing his own.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Getting enough kills to secure NIP that round. You know, when Apex breaks it open like that, if that was early round or if we had 50 seconds left on the clock, things could spiral out of control. But because you're rushed into the situation, because G2 are forced to make a decision, you know where they're coming from, you know what their decision is, and Draken's right place, right time, grabbing the frags, Rez. Sneaking across, actually, getting to that aggressive position. They know he's there. You have to assume something's up, and they've actually moved the AWP over to this side of the map, expecting a B attack. Rez in this more forward position, finding one. Another opening early for NIP.
One-man advantage to take a 1-round lead.
Crowd loves it.
Naturally expected. Rez give them something more to cheer about as he takes down Shocks. Flash toward Apex. Bomb is still inside of the big garage. Kenny, meanwhile, is peeking toward A. Apex getting Forest from the mid-position on Bomb. Is actually going to head back over toward B. They're hoping that MBK can cause rotations, and a little bit of utility will pull a rotation. It has gotten get right closer.
Apex with another one. 3-on-3 situation.
That's Rez getting aggressive, trying to push back out to get information. He doesn't necessarily need to do so. MBK in with a flash.
He's on the site already.
They've pushed NIP all the way off it. Exists, good shot to Apex, drops bomb temporarily. Kenny immediately on the trade, throws bomb across. He's going to keep the AWP in position, but what he doesn't realize, or does he, is that Get Right is against the wall, just sees enough of a foot to fire, and it's Draken again that has to step up for NIP. His 3rd straight round in overtime, he has to do so. He's 1 for 1 in success so far. Bomb planted wide, he knows that means A-main is a factor. MBK is in a perfect position as well to jump over top of the red crate, and Kenny is going to get it beforehand. It's G2 with the 1-round lead as we swap halves.
That post plant was played really well. Obviously, there was the fear of the player pushing into the bomb site, stopping the plant there, but Kenny with the 6th sense, able to pick that up. That was really big. Nathan MBK playing on the little box, ready to jump up on red, looking towards forklift push was really cool. He could also cover off A-main as Kenny played in the lockers, so really smart post plant play by these two. That's the synergy you want to see, especially when the pressure's on that right now, and Shocks barking orders, getting the boys ready. What are we going to see come out from their CT side? I would love something just completely out of the box here. Just catch NIP off guard. Let's go 3 aggressive B with rifles. Let's do something you know they're not going to expect, because at this point in time, the pressure is on NIP. The double AWPs again, and this is where they did find success. This is where MBK was able to pick up a round or 2, show that he has a bit of prowess as that secondary AWP, but can use it a bit like a utility player, and the mid-Molotov coming in will slow Draken's attack down over the boost. Like you mentioned, Matt, he wasn't playing the boost too much, but now he's opting for it early.
It's the one time he wants to use it that they Molotov it again. Trying to position as well. Shock's getting a lot closer in mid. We'll go back inside of the vent because it was already blown out for him. Not gonna drop out of it. Get right, meanwhile. Already in B. Smoke on. They have no idea he's that close. Shocks could bust the vent behind him and try and take it back. He's still inside of the small pit. This will bring in the rest of NIP. They have to be cautious. They don't know Shocks is there, and their backs are turned. He could be a problem if the timing is right. Timing should be now. NBK, he's caused distracted. Shocks is gone. They've not heard the vent because of it with the AWP firing, but Exist is at the ready. And it's all down to Kenny S, who is smoked off. AWP has no clean access. Bomb's not planted. NIP is going to slow things just to be sure. We're not caught off by Kenny's op. Toss toward the default. It's time to figure this out and get the bomb in position. So smart and slow pace from NIP. Kenny, he'll fancy it. No reason not to in the MR16, or MR316K, excuse me, overtime. That's a bit desperate.
It works.
Works, but hard to...
It doesn't look like it should, but it does. I think, you know, you don't expect Shocks to not whiff, but you expect him to at least convert one of those frags, and could have put Kenny in a 1-on-3. Still not very likely to win, but he's going for this attack. Takes down Drake, and Get Right will finish him off. 17 pieces of each here.
Balls from Get Right as well to just walk into the B site.
These are the risky plays you have to make in overtime. When nothing else works, you've just got to hope that your players can step up, hope that they can give the in-game leader and the coach a couple of plays that they've been working on, or, you know, they feel the game. Your players are the ones who have been taking on these situations time and time again, but you talk about Get Right and Draken or Draken. They're the boys at the top of the scoreboard, 30-plus frags each, doing a lot of work for NIP right now, and they want to go for that B main control again. Smoke comes out, Molotov to follow, Apex push behind Drip by himself. BK in the site to assist, and one player moving over and Shocks the vent. This is a 3-man pronged attack, or I suppose defense towards the B side. Default spread again. So that time and time again.
Bomb dropped in the default toward A main. And they are slowly grouping in that position as Body stays behind the forklift. And Kenny with op number 2, op number 1, I guess, if we're going to give him his primary position. Sits at the ready. Get Right, as always, will wait toward B. Unfortunately, can't find 1 of 3 kills, and they know he's alone. They've already immediately fallen back for the rotation. It's a long way to go, and IP should have capitalized the opportunity and gone, because it was only 2 in the site. They are going to start to move the G2 players around, but not enough movement toward Kenny. As he finds 1 shot, a lag on Forest. He's tagged down by Apex, and we're getting closer to map points for G2 in overtime. They've got it now 18-17.
I don't want to get on Body too much, but he's made a few dumb decisions. Like, he must have known mid was open. He had 3 players towards that B bomb site when they went for that aggression, and then he's still taking a pick from Forklift and then jumping back, assuming no one's highway, going down to Forest. That could have spiraled out of control just because he wasn't thinking. They do convert the round, so it can't be too harsh. Kenny stepping up with the AWP, but that aggressive move towards B mid-round, that's what you want to see. That's the on-the-fly calling that we need coming out from these guys, taking advantage of a tendency that Get Right has. And early NIP look like they're heading towards B. 3 players posturing over that side of the map, bomb in hand. Nade damage, chip damage coming out from G2. MBK's been a bit of a hero with this AWP. He's actually done a lot of impact frags. You know, he's not towards the top of the scoreboard, but he's done a lot with it.
Get Right has to be very careful. He crosses. MBK's in the open. He misses the shot. Doesn't even get a 1-for-1 because of it, because Apex is perfectly positioned. Forrest can do nothing of it. He's late to the vent, but he has mid to work with if they want to go back toward A. Problem is, Kenny is staring in that direction. A man down.
The AWP from Draken opened up that avenue of middle, but quickly traded by Kenny, and now the number advantage definitely in the favor of G2. HP for MBK not looking fantastic, but he has the AWP, so it's not a huge factor here, and it has to be an A attack. 50 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they're just waiting for any aggression, any G2 players who are going to take that risk and push and play for info, but it's not going to happen. They're rooted in position.
A tall order as well to take A, because literally speaking of height, Body is high above them.
That's key. That's almost a round-winning boost in this scenario, unless Rez is going to check. He can get in front of the box, and he can peek the feet of Body here. He hasn't checked it. He's in the right position.
Timing. Kenny shuffles out. Body on the box.
There's no time, Matt. There's no time.
There's very little time. Enough time that they can spray them down. Good response from Draka, but it's too late. Bomb's on the deck. Bomb is on the deck with 8 seconds. It's done. It's already over. G2 are going to the finals 2-0 against NIP in Malmo, defending champions. Unable to succeed this time against their French counterpart.
Well, Apex really happy there. A little dance towards the end. That was some good counter-strike coming out from both squads. Overtime matchup, once to be remembered. I think pistol round wins across the board, some fantastic individual plays, and in the end, G2 too good.
Too good, I would agree. Just barely on cash. It was close. NIP had the lead, lost a little bit of the economic control, managed, I think, to take good timeouts. I agree with a lot of Exist's timeouts to talk about the situation, how they were going to buy and approach it. But in the end, overtime, they get overpowered ever so slightly. But hats off to NIP. Talk about the upward trajectory and changes made. The 2 young players they brought in has made this team, it's not a splash in the pan as it used to be. We used to see flurries of NIP. Yeah, they won Oakland. Yeah, they won Malmo. As the crowd salutes their home team. This, I think, is actually something we can look forward to. I see consistency on this roster that I think can build into something.
I don't know if it was you who said it yesterday, Matt, but they're definitely geared up to be the best Swedish team that we've got right now.
Yeah.
NIP, the best Swedish team. I think you can say that without a doubt at the moment. And like I said, props to them. I'm definitely looking out for them in the future.
Yeah, well, and it's only going to be a future that continues to be bright. But G2 is into the final, their first one in quite some time. A team that I was calling out earlier in this event saying they weren't exactly the team we expected them to be. But as always, they, unlike, I guess, Star Ladder, where they blew out the group stage, just completely dominated and then fell immediately in the playoffs. This time, they grow into it, and now arriving in the playoffs, perfect time. They're going to peak. They've got the time off. We've got one more series coming up to find out our other finalists that they will play, but hats off to them. Good performance.
I think we got Smix ready with Kenny S.
Happy birthday, Smix. Over to you.
Kenny S., earlier today you tweeted, "I have never beaten NIP in an important match." Well, today that has changed. You have defeated NIP, and now you're in the grand finals. How does that feel?
It feels great, especially that we are actually playing really good right now. Against SK, Motors, and right now against NIP. We are really happy about our game, so it feels great.
Now, I want to talk about Cash. The last time you played NIP was on Cash was a month ago at ESL 1 Cologne. Back then, they defeated you 16-6, but this time, it was completely different. It was such a close game. Can you break down that craziness?
Well, first of all, Cash is the best map and probably one of our worst. But as I said, lately we have been playing really great. I think that made a difference, kind of like how we played Mirage against SK. Like we played together. Our communication was not really on point, but the team play was there. We had a good setup. So, yeah, I think we started with an advantage because Inferno was kind of like in our way. So, yeah, we are really happy to win Cash because we are not really confident on nuking either.
Well, let's talk about G2 this year. I know you had the high where you won 2 tournaments earlier on, and then you went into a little bit of a slump. But now how does it feel to be back up in the grand finals and playing well once again?
Well, definitely the 3 tournaments before the break were terrible, a nightmare to be honest. And since then we have been working in a good way again, with the right mindset, and I think that's the mindset who makes the difference.
Now in the grand finals you'll be playing one of 2 teams. You can have a rematch of the ESL Pro League finals again.